Je pense qu'ils veulent nous pousser à rester chez nous. Ils ne veulent plus qu'on vienne dans leur pays. Ils font tout. Je pense qu'ils commencent à mettre tout en place pour nous pousser dehors parce que tu prévois immigrer ou même que tu sois sur le territoire, que ce soit au Canada ou aux États-Unis, ta situation devient incertaine ou ton avenir devient incertain. Qu'allons-nous faire? Bonjour tout le monde, j'espère que vous allez bien. De mon côté, ça va super bien. Bienvenue de nouveau sur ma chaîne Alliance M-Éducation. Pendant que le Canada vote des lois ou des réformes pour accueillir de moins en moins de nouveaux arrivants, aux États-Unis, c'est autre chose. Là-bas, ça devient de plus en plus strict et très restrictif. Donc, les États-Unis, en fait, envisagent de nouvelles restrictions d'entrée pour les ressortissants de 43 pays repartis en 3 catégories selon le niveau de restriction. La première catégorie, c'est la catégorie rouge. Dans cette catégorie, en fait, c'est une interdiction totale de rentrer aux États-Unis. Les pays qui font partie de cette catégorie, nous avons l'Afghanistan, le Cuba, le Bhoutan, l'Iran, la Libye, la Corée du Nord, la Somalie, le Soudan, la Syrie, le Venezuela et le Yémen. La deuxième catégorie, c'est la catégorie orange. De ce côté-là, on a une restriction plus sévère sur les visas. Ça veut dire que les pays que je vais vous lister bientôt, en fait, leurs ressortissants vont être soumis à des restrictions strictes pour l'obtention des visas. Les voyageurs d'affaires fortunés pourraient, eux, être autorisés à entrer, mais pour les personnes voyageant avec un visa d'immigrant ou de touristes, pour eux, ça va être de plus en plus compliqué. Et ils pourraient même envisager des entretiens en personne pour savoir en fait quelles sont vos raisons ou les motivations qui font que vous voulez à tout prix immigrer aux États-Unis. Les pays qui font partie de cette catégorie, donc la catégorie orange, sont la Biélorussie, l'Érythrée, l'Haïti, le Laos, la Birmanie, le Pakistan, la Russie, Sierra Leone, Soudan du Sud et le Turkménistan. Troisième catégorie, c'est la catégorie jaune. Eux, en fait, ils ont comme une période d'observation de 60 jours. Ça veut dire que ils disposent de 60 jours pour répondre aux exigences des États-Unis en matière de sécurité et de vérification des voyageurs. Passer ce délai de 60 jours, en fait, et en l'absence de mesures satisfaisantes, ces pays pourraient être reclassés dans une catégorie plus restrictive. Ils pourraient donc joindre soit la catégorie rouge ou la catégorie orange, ok? Et ces pays-là, en fait, il y en a plusieurs dans plus de 22 pays qui proviennent de l'Afrique. Je vais vous partager un reportage très bien détaillé qui explique toutes ces restrictions. Ça va vous permettre de mieux comprendre la situation. Et si vous faites partie de l'une des catégories, vous pourrez peut-être envisager une immigration dans un autre pays ou plutôt mieux préparer votre dossier d'immigration si votre rêve est d'immigrer aux États-Unis. Donc, je vous laisse regarder le petit reportage qui explique bien tout ce que je viens de vous dire et plus en détail. Je vous l'ai traduit parce que il était en anglais. Bon visionnement et dites-moi qu'est-ce que vous pensez de cela dans les commentaires. Est-ce que l'Occident veut toujours des immigrants?
In recent days, the Trump administration has been considering a significant expansion of travel restrictions which can potentially affect citizens from 40-odd countries. This move was first reported by the New York Times. It involves categorizing countries into 3 separate lists: red, orange, and yellow, each with varying levels of travel restrictions. This proposal is part of a broader immigration enforcement initiative launched by President Donald Trump at the beginning of his second term. We will try and delve into the specifics of this proposed ban, the rationale for this ban, how it aligns with Trump's anti-immigration agenda, and its implications, particularly for student visas in the context of the recent actions against students at the Columbia University in New York. The proposed travel ban divides countries into 3 categories. The first is the red list. This includes countries who face an outright ban on traveling to the United States. None of the citizens having a passport of these countries will be able to enter America. The list of banned travelers include countries like Cuba, Iran, Libya, North Korea, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, Venezuela, Afghanistan, and Bhutan. Now, some have expressed surprise at why Bhutan is part of this list, not having any known terrorists or any troublesome elements who have migrated to the United States in recent times and who have had to be deported because of unlawful activities there. The second category is the orange list. Now, countries on this list will face restricted travel. They will have limited entry, allowed only after in-person interviews, and only for short-term non-immigrant visas. The orange list includes countries like Russia, Pakistan, Myanmar, Belarus, Haiti, Laos, Eritrea, Sierra Leone, South Sudan, and Turkmenistan. And finally, there is what is called the yellow list. This category consists of countries who will be given a 60-day notice to address specific security concerns. If any of these countries fails to comply, then travelers from these countries risk being moved to the orange or the red lists. The yellow list includes 22 countries, most of them from Africa and the Caribbean. There are countries like Angola, Antigua and Barbuda, Benin, Burkina Faso, Cambodia, Cameroon, to the Republic of Congo, even countries like St. Lucia, Vanuatu, and Zimbabwe. The rationale behind Trump's proposed ban is to enhance national security interests by identifying and also restricting travel from countries who have deficiencies when it comes to a vetting and screening process for who can get to travel to the United States. This aligns with Trump's broader strategy, which is to protect America from what he thinks are potential threats, including terrorism and the exploitation of immigration laws. This move is part of an executive order that was signed by Trump on his very first day in office on the 20th of January, which mandated enhanced security screenings for foreigners who are seeking entry into the United States. This draft proposal, which is now doing the rounds of the media, which could become an actuality in the next few weeks, is an enhanced measure from the executive order that he signed on the first day in office. During his first term, Trump implemented a travel ban targeting 7 majority Muslim countries. They were Iraq, Syria, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. That ban in the first term faced significant legal challenges. Multiple courts turned it down. There was public backlash as well, but ultimately it was upheld by the US Supreme Court in 2018. That ban was subsequently revoked when the next president came into office, Joe Biden. He described that travel ban as a stain on our national conscience. The proposed travel ban now is a key component of Trump's anti-immigration agenda, which he has emphasized throughout his political career, both in his first term and even more so now. Because in the second term, there seems to be a renewed urgency by Trump in cracking down on illegal immigration. Trump has appointed a new border czar in Tom Homan, who oversees the Department of Immigration, Communication and Enforcement, or ICE. In the last couple of months that Trump has been in office, ICE has overseen the deportation of thousands of illegals who entered the United States. They've been sent back either to their home countries or they've been kept in detainment facilities either in Guantanamo Bay or in Panama or in El Salvador. Trump has consistently argued that stricter immigration policies are necessary to safeguard America's national security and also to protect American jobs. This stand has been a central theme both in his campaigns when he was running for president, and also it has become a central policy initiative once he's taken office. But that's not the only thing that Trump is cracking down on. Recently, the Trump administration has taken action against students at the Columbia University who were involved in pro-Palestinian protests last year. The Department of Homeland Security has arrested and detained several students. Prominent among them are Mahmoud Khalil and Leka Cordia. The Department of Homeland Security has cited violations of visa terms or even alleged support for terrorism. Incidentally, Mahmoud is a green card holder and the first instance of a student who had a green card and has been held back for a political protest. Another student, Ranjani Srinivasan from India, had her visa revoked because of her involvement in similar protests at the Columbia University. She later self-deported to Canada before officers from DHS and ICE could reach her Columbia University apartment.
Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border.
The rationale provided by the Trump administration is that these students have advocated for violence or terrorism or have indulged in anti-Semitic comments on campus, which is seen as a misuse of student visas.
Hearing to consider the nomination, the truth, the whole truth.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said that advocating for such activities should result in the revocation of visa privileges. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has indicated that more student visas will be revoked in the coming days. All of this is part of efforts to identify individuals who should not have been allowed entry into the U.S. in the first place. Rubio's comments follow the detention of Mahmoud Khalil and reflect the administration's intent to further scrutinize and even revoke visas of those students who are involved in activities that the administration deems as inappropriate.
And so in the days to come, you should expect more visas will be revoked as we identify people that we should never have allowed in because they lied to us. When they said they were coming here to be students, they didn't say they were coming here to occupy university buildings and vandalize them and tear them apart and have campuses hostage. If they had told us that, we would never have given them a student visa.
The proposed travel ban on citizens from 43 countries is a significant development, a significant step forward in Trump's immigration policy, reflecting his ongoing efforts to restrict entry into the United States. The categorization of countries into red, orange, and yellow lists allows for a three-tier approach to travel restrictions. Some countries have got outright bans, some others have conditional entries. The rationale behind this policy aligns with Trump's broader anti-immigration agenda. He emphasizes the need to protect the United States from both the threats of losing American jobs and the threats to America's national security. The recent actions against Columbia University students also highlight the Trump administration's willingness to push the envelope when it comes to stricter immigration policies, even in cases that involve political activism and not necessarily a direct terror charge or terror threat. As these hard immigration policies continue to evolve, they are likely to remain a contentious issue. Many of this could be challenged in courts of law, which could put stays, and there could be international pressure as well to go easy on this long list of countries who have restricted entry into the United States.